everyone, and welcome to Table Talk Show with Nikki G, the voice on Island Vibe Radio. Island Vibe, Philly, #1 Caribbean station. I know you felt the earthquake recently. We just recently had an earthquake, and it was, I mean, it wasn't well, for me in Jersey, we didn't feel it as much. Some people said they felt it in Long Island much more. They felt it in New York, and then people in Philly felt it as well. And then I had my cousins from Washington calling me and so forth. So I just want to make sure that everyone is fine. You could tag us, you could email us, you could get us on Instagram. Is Island Vibe. That's Island VYBEP on Instagram, and Nikki G the voice as well. Okay. Make sure that you contact us and let us know that everything is good and what happened. We want to get some stories. So next time I'll be able to televise that and let people know how things were in your area. All right. So keep it locked to islandvibe.net. If you want to hear us, you could also go on YouTube, type in Island Vibe, and also Table Talk Show with Nikki G. See you in a bit. We're taking a quick break. I have some good news for you. I have an artist that's well-rounded. He's a producer, he's a singer, he's a writer. You know, we have lots in store for you. We have my game that everybody likes to play and so forth, and a couple of good news. All right, so keep it locked to Table Talk Show with Nikki G the voice on islandvibe.net. We'll be right back.
Boss, I'm not coming to work today or any other day between June 2nd and June 9th because I'll be on board the Fatopia cruise performing live. That's right, June 2nd to June 9th, 2024. The Fatopia cruise. Get your cabins now. Problem Child Live is going to be insane. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Get your cabins now. It's going to be crazy. And it's going to be a holiday.
Fatopia.
Drink now, party! You guys, it's your girl Anika Berry, and guess what? I am officially a brand ambassador and artist of the Fatopia Carnival Cruise, and we are going to the Bahamas June 2nd through June 9th. And guess what the best part is? We are leaving out of Brooklyn. We don't have to buy no flights, no hotels. It's just straight from Brooklyn to the Bahamas for a 7-day ultra premium experience, all inclusive. I'm so excited. We're gonna have 14 events on the cruise, on the land in the Bahamas. We're just gonna drink. We're gonna get lashed up. You're gonna see your favorite artists perform. We're getting everything on this boat. So make sure to reserve your spot now and come and chat with me because we will have a time with Fatopia.
Welcome back to Table Talk Show with Nikki G the voice on islandvibe.net. Well, for me, I had a great week. I guess everyone else had a great week. The weather's been, we're in spring, but the weather's been like topsy-turvy. It's been cold 1 minute, hot 1 minute, you know. And then we recently, as I mentioned, we had a mild earthquake, but for some people it wasn't as mild, you know. But so far, so good. I haven't heard any deaths or, you know, buildings falling or anything like that. But I do have to mention on Monday, we have a solar eclipse that's going to be happening. This is a solar eclipse usually takes place ascending on Monday, April 8th, visible across North America and dubbed the greatest North American eclipse by some media. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the earth and the sun, thereby occurs the image of the sun for a view on the earth. So make sure that you don't miss that. Whatever time zone you're in, you know, hopefully you get to see it. I do have, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I have other news to report, but I'll report that later on, right? Between Jamaica and Trinidad winning gold medals and all this thing that's going on. But I have a gentleman with me today that he's well-rounded. You know, he's a singer, he's a songwriter, well acclaimed. Also has, guess history. His dad is also in the music industry and so forth. So I'm going to ask him those questions about family-related questions and so forth, right? Welcome, Sizwe C, to my show, Table Talk Show.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. A real traditional Trini, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Let me start it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That brings me right to your song that says good morning. Your songs are fire. Like,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
I must say.
Appreciate that.
So how was your week?
Week was all right though. You know, every day above ground is a good week. Every day where I wake up and I could share my love and share my music, I think is a great day. And so, you know, I
Yeah,
like to say that every day for me is a Friday, and it's just a perspective, you know.
really. So what happened to Monday through
Yeah.
Thursday?
Yeah, those are just days, but my everyday for me is a Friday where, like, you know, if I ain't feeling it, is tomorrow could be the weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I try not to be bound by the days of the weekend. You know, you wake up on a Monday and it's like, oh God, it's Monday. Nah, I'm not
True.
living that life.
Yeah. But I
Yeah,
mean, I know, most artists would probably pursue their careers and not have a 9 to 5. Do you have a nine to
yeah,
five, being that you
I
said
do.
every, oh, you do. Okay.
I do have a 9 to 5. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
bills have to pay.
That's true. That's true.
Right?
That is true. I mean, I don't know how you guys do it. I really don't know
Yeah,
how you do it because having a 9 to 5 and then having to do what you do and be
yeah,
around the country and travel and so forth, you have to have a flexible job per
yeah,
se. I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah,
know after the pandemic, like people were able to work from home, you're able to travel because of course they're giving you vacations, they're giving you your sick times and so forth. But your job is kind of flexible in a way that you're able to do that, or
yeah. My job is flexible. You know, they know like that I'm busy, and you know, and I save up my time and not do what I need to get done, you know.
okay,
So I
okay.
think that sometimes we put barriers in front of us, and we don't even realize that we put those barriers. You know, I don't think about it at all. If I have a booking, I'm going to do my booking,
Yeah,
and I come
yeah,
back and we'll deal with it like that, you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't, that's the thing about creatives. I find when you're a creative person and you have a second job or a corporate job or whatever the case is, if you're not true to them to let them know what you're doing, then it makes it harder for you to do what you need to do. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I've
yeah,
been in that
definitely.
situation. Yeah. I've been in that situation and one of my coworkers was like, I don't know what you're doing here. But I'm like, this is something that I enjoy doing, right? So,
Yeah,
and as you say, it's like that is consistent money that's coming in, you know? So if you choose to do something like that. So let's go back from where you started, just roll back. I know,
sure,
you've probably been asked this a million times and stuff like that. So we're doing this for my audience so they will get to know you better,
no
right?
problem.
And so forth. So you were born in the rich island of Trinidad and Tobago, or were you born?
I was born in Montreal, in the rich island of Montreal, Canada.
Ah, okay. All right. You always tend to think everybody's born there and probably comes to the.
Well,
All right.
Montreal is on an island, just Montreal is on an island, so
Yeah.
it's just a cool one.
Yeah. All right. So what is the difference between, I've heard someone ask this before, is like being from the Caribbean, especially Canada, right?
Yeah,
Because most people you'd find they talk a lot about New York and so forth. So being an artist born in Canada, when you go to Trinidad, do you feel like people treat you differently? Like from the beginning? Maybe not now since they know you, or
Mhm.
maybe you experience it all now.
I think that we have a thing where you're not from here,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and sometimes it translates as maybe you're inferior or not as good or I think that happens sometimes. But I think the onus is on you and how you take it and how you move that needle, right? Like I
Okay.
wouldn't take any of that on, like I'm born in Montreal and that's where I was born and um but I embrace my culture and yeah, so for me like Trinidad is home
Mm.
and I will go and do my thing and come back and I've been all over, and
Yeah.
so I'm a champion for soca, for culture, for music. um
Mm.
there are some artists who might say they don't just do soca, right?
Eh.
And I take issue with that because Jay-Z would never say he don't just do hip hop, right?
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
might he might say, "Yeah, I do hip hop and I could do a rock record or I could feature on a heavy metal record or whatever the case is, right?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm a champion for soca, an ambassador to soca all over the world, like many other artists, and
Yeah.
I just stay in my lane and do my thing, so I don't
Mm.
really take that on too much.
Oh, good. So you're very
Yeah.
positive when it comes to yourself.
Yeah, I think I try to be, like I'm human too, and so sometimes there are things that will take me down a lane where maybe I shouldn't be. But
Mm-hmm.
it's important to reinforce these thoughts or these ideas with positivity, so you don't stay there, right? Because you'll have naysayers or detractors in every area, and if I
Exactly.
stay in that mindset, then I'll be taken on, and then that becomes an excuse or a reason why my song can't reach, or I can reach, and
Okay.
I'll try my best not to let that be, but to make it more of an action of mine. And so if I don't reach, it's because I didn't do something where I was supposed to do.
To do. Okay. So I read through, your bio and so forth, and it says that you were guided by your dad. Would you like us to know who your father is? I know some people don't like to
Yeah,
divulge
yeah,
that because
no,
it's like, they don't want to be a shadow in their parents', footsteps.
nah, my dad he's just his name is Frank Collins, and he I think in bio it kind of reads like he was like this big DJ, and it wasn't that, right? He was a guy who played music, who was very steeped in culture while living abroad, and
Mm,
was again another ambassador to the culture, and so artists and mass and thing was a normal for me in my house,
okay.
um, and so he would play in parties and stuff like that. But it wasn't that he was like this big DJ, it's just that he was in that circle, the circle with King Chow and these fellas, right?
Yeah.
King Chow
Yeah.
out of New York, right? And so when you talked about Canada being kind of outside of most people come to New York, but Canada is 6 hours. I mean, Montreal is like 6 hours from Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
so you're kind of anything, come like Miami and Orlando or Miami and Tampa or something like that, where like,
Yeah.
and so I was fortunate to have him because he's the one who introduced me to
I think he's
Iron and to Kitsch and to you could
all
hear
right.
me.
Yeah, it just had a
Yeah.
little delay there, so I'm not sure what it is, but just a slight delay when you move. Mm-hmm.
Right? So yeah, big up to Frank.
That's really good. That's really good. You always find, I shouldn't say always, but people that I admire, you would find, let's say, artists or anyone who's in movies or something like that, they have some type of background where, maybe their family, their mother or father was in music or, so forth. So they had that type of platform to help them, which is a definite plus.
Yeah.
So you were inspired by Mighty Sparrow, Byron Lee, Arrow and so forth, right? everybody
Mm-hmm.
has their own way that they do their music and, their voice and so forth, right? How did you gain your voice? Like some people would be like, okay, well, I used to emulate this person and that person, right? Did you go through that or you knew who you were? So
Yeah.
your music just followed that direction?
That's a good question,
Mm,
when I first started singing soca, or when I was really taking it serious, Kevin Little was huge. Right? Like he
mm.
was big, I
Yeah.
mean, he's still big, but at the time he had hit like popular music, so I'm kind of dating myself, but and so a lot of how I pictured myself was in that kind of vantage, of this Kevin Little version of me, or
Mm,
me be another version of Kevin. I studied like how he dressed and the things where he was wearing, and
yeah.
and so I think Kevin Little had an impact, but I think all of these artists, Shadows and all of them I have a little piece, Super Blue, I have a little piece of all of them. And not to mention, that my mother's Haitian, right? So there's
Mm,
some there's some compa zouk vibes, that I naturally have too, you know.
yeah.
And so finding my voice, the way that I sing today versus the way I sing yesterday is also much different. Like, I have a deeper, uh, uh, grungier voice than when I started singing, and that's just developed over time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, because when I heard your music, it reminded me of someone. I was like, I wonder if he emulates that person or heard the song, or maybe you collaborated together because sometimes you might collaborate with someone and like
yeah,
the way they are, and you go with
yeah.
it on a song or something. You just happen to sound like
Who
them.
was that? Who was that? Did you
I'll
did you remember?
I'll tell you in a
Okay,
bit.
all right.
It
Yeah,
came to mind and then but I'll tell you in a bit. But he's
sure.
one that he sang with Marshall. Um, he didn't sing with Bungie. Oh gosh, what's his name? There's this other guy, but right now he's kind of David Rudder. He sang with David.
Okay,
I'll tell you in a bit who that
yeah,
person is. Yeah, yeah. Um, all right. So, collaborations, right?
yeah.
I've interviewed artists where they say, I don't know if I want to do a collaboration with this person because they never asked me and so forth. Do you have those type of hang-ups where you would well, I've seen you've done collaborations, but when
Mhm.
you do a collaboration, does someone have to ask you to collaborate or you would like that person's music? What is your method to that?
So my natural instinct is to say that I would collaborate with pretty much anybody, right?
Okay. Okay.
Um, as long as it makes musical sense, and I think that is the hiccup. Sometimes it doesn't make it just like to collaborate for collaborating's sake, and I think that might not be the right angle to approach making music, right?
Mhm.
It should make sense sonically. There's m- maybe our voices don't match, or don't um match in a sense where maybe they're too similar,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, or styling being too similar.
Hmm.
So for me, it's just about the vibe and it making sense, right? I haven't done much collaborations. I haven't done many, but
Okay.
I'm open to it, right? As
Yeah.
long as again it makes sense and the vibe
Okay.
is good and we making good music where people could enjoy it.
Yeah. I like the one you did with Wildfire. I know Wildfire for a while.
Play, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That one is vibesy. I really like that.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
was magic. Like that vibe was really, I got a phone call saying, so you could meet us in the studio. And I said, sure. I drove up and then,
Mhm.
they were kind of waiting for me and Fire was recording. And then the producer, who is LL Cool Blaze, like, yo, sis, I need you to put a verse on here. So I wasn't even prepared, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, we had a writer, Wayne Roy was in the building, and
Mhm.
it was like it was magic that session, you know. And then we went to Panama and shot the music video.
Oh,
So yeah,
nice.
it was definitely a magical experience.
All right. You find, on the topic of collaborations, you find sometimes people in the industry, right? No matter where you are, you might probably want to interview someone, sing with someone, work with someone, but they look at you a certain way, like, who is
Mm,
you? Somebody, I actually called somebody one time, right? When I first started,
hmm
and the person on the phone was like, who is you? Why you want? But I find that was kind of rude. But
hmm
has there been a time where that happened to you, like a negative reaction, just because you knew on the scene and people now getting to know you? Or even if, let's say, recently, has that ever happened?
Um, again, right? I think that, you know, if you don't know who I am, then it's my
Yeah,
job to educate you on who I am and to show like I have value. And
yeah,
you know, you can't fault people for not knowing, you know, like there's so many people, so many listeners, and you
yeah,
can't expect everybody to not know and to not know. And some people are a
true.
little bit abrasive. I could be abrasive or aggressive,
Yeah,
um, and not necessarily mean to be. You know, I don't. Sometimes people say, "Oh, go on to say like you're hard," you know. And it's not my intent. It's just sometimes that's just the way it comes out. You know, I remember
yeah.
I used to do a radio show,
Mm,
and I called I was calling to do an interview with Ricky T, right?
mm-hmm.
And doing some management for Ricky T, I believe at the time. And Barry was like, "Who is you?" Like, I never heard about you, you
Barry
know? And I
actually
was
said
like,
that.
yeah, he was like, yeah, I never hear about you. And I said, well, I sing soca. I also have this radio program. He said, you sing soca? And I had to do this whole thing about, you know, who I am with Barry.
Yeah.
And I don't think, and Barry and I are like super tight. And I don't think at the time he wasn't, but, and I really didn't know him, right?
Mm.
But who are the closest to me? Who are the closest to me would say that that song is probably the worst song ever made, but it's not. It's one of it's. have I had worse songs than that one, but yeah, Rock Your Boat definitely put me on the map. I just as like, oh, who is this guy? You know, and then Wine on You took me all over the world, really. You know, it
Mm.
was like kind of my breakout record. And then Fire right after that was another one, was like the answer, and we had a good time with that as well. So yeah, those records um are my introduction to the soca world
Oh,
as
nice.
as an artist.
Right. Welcome back, and let's continue.
Yeah.
Hope everyone is doing fine on the outside. I know we had like a lot of things going on, so it is what it is. Okay. Sizwe, so continue. I
Yeah.
think there's a portion where you had explained about the last thing that you were talking about, with the music and how it, catapulted you and stuff like that, and what people had to say. If you could just say that back
Yeah,
in a
I
summary.
think I was just saying that those three songs were kind of my introduction to the soca world, or
Mm,
in to the soca world as an artist and as a recording artist and doing it in a professional capacity, you know.
oh, good.
So yeah, those songs are some of my favorite records.
All right.
Mhm.
Ian, oh, sorry. Oh, so I would like to play one of your songs. Um,
Sure.
we'll set it up. Um, let's see which one I want to hear. Soul Snatcher. So could you set that up for me, and then we'll play it in the background so we could get people in the mood of, what you sing and all that
Yeah, so
stuff.
we went from 20 years ago to Soul Snatcher. Um, yeah, this is a contribution, one of the three contributions I have for this year. This is written by James P. Morgan. And yeah, this one called Soul Snatcher.
rising. You don't care, but I realizing. You don't cater cause you're trying to send me vibes for the burning. Over. Make me want to come over. Yo, me girl, give me 2 pieces of lash behind the truck. All day you won't play, I tell you don't play. Don't play. Girl, the way you're moving your bottom left to right, that thing out of sight, I tell you okay. Trouble, I find you in trouble. Girl, you're causing trouble. You're not looking trouble. Oh God, this is 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 trouble. Trouble, I find you in trouble. Girl, you're causing trouble.
All right, so now we are going to play Soul Snatcher. It looks like I have to hire another DJ.
Wrong with that DJ, right?
DJ is sticking behind there.
God bless Zoom. And you have the good. That's the reason I can't take shit. Yeah. God bless Zoom. And you have the good. That's the reason I can't take shit. And God was sharing goodness, you was at the front of the line. You alone get all. You ain't left none at all. And that's why every time we touch that thing, that just blow my mind. God name me one call.
Girl, you have the soul snatcher. The God bless Zoom. And you have the good. That's the reason I can't think straight. Soul snatcher. The God bless Zoom. And you have the good. That's the reason I can't think straight. When God was sharing goodness, you was at the front of the line. You alone get all. You ain't left none at all. And that's why every time we touch that thing, they just blow my mind. Sometimes me want ball. God name me want call. More time we fall out, we have to make back. Even though me have to ball and make back. And show you pics with tears in my eyes. Tell you baby, I am sorry. And beg you please to forgive me. So let me come to some compromise. Cause I can't go a day without you, no time, no way. I can't really take the chance, my girl, this is too risky. Call me toxic if you want to. I go still turn around and blame you. It is your fault, your buff have the soul. Girl, you have the soul snatcher. The God bless Zoom. And you have the good. That's the reason I can't think straight. Soul snatcher. The God bless Zoom. And you have the good. That's the reason I can't think straight. When God was sharing goodness, you was at the front of the line.
All right. Making of your videos, right, that you made before, I was looking at some of them and they were like really spicy and so forth. You know, you have girls on the side of you and whatever, right? In terms of relationship wise, I mean, I don't know if you were dating at that time or anything. Do you have any flack from people that you're dating or girls or whatever, with positions and different things you might do in videos?
Nah, it's not even a conversation. You know, well, I'm not dating anybody. I'm married, right?
Okay.
And so there's just, there's an understanding there that this is what I do and this is what I come with, and yes, she's super understanding, and
Nice.
yeah, she recognizes that as a genre of, she has like the fluctuation party too, and so I must tell her no.
Yeah. That's what I like. That's what I like about, I mean, I'll say in the Caribbean culture because it's my culture, right? In our culture, there's a certain understanding, because I had a show where I was talking about, let's say you're dating a Jamaican or you're dating a Panamanian or someone out of the culture, hypothetical, right?
Yeah.
How are they going to react if you say, I want to go to Trinidad on my own, married or dating or whatever? When you have a significant other, sometimes their thought of a relationship might be different from yours because of your culture. Our culture might be carefree and so forth. And their culture is where I always have to be with you. You always have to dress a certain way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's always nice when your partner understands the job that you do or your culture or, you know, those things. Yeah. Yeah, so as I was looking at the video and I saw you going back like this and laughing and stuff like that, so I'm like, they really put him in a compromising position because, but then when the screen was going up in the lady butts and stuff, I was like, oh my God. And all you doing is
Yeah.
laughing. So I'm like,
Yeah, and that's my personality too. I just laugh and
yeah,
yeah,
have fun in the thing.
have fun, have real
Yeah.
fun.
So I know I'm going back and forth because sometimes the nature of what we're talking about and so forth. So we
Sure.
went from Fire 2009 and Wine on You and so forth. So you were nominated for International Soca Monarch
International Soca Awards.
Award,
International
sorry,
Soca
yeah.
Awards, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How was that experience?
Yeah, so I've been nominated twice. I won once. And yeah, that's to be recognized in front of your peers, um, as somebody to look out for, to see, and to say, all right, yeah, you've done something. I think is great, and to be awarded and to say, yeah, you've achieved something.
Mm,
And you come from nothing to something, and to be recognized for those achievements, I think are always good. And I encourage that. I encourage the community to recognize the artists and their efforts, especially in the soca genre, as it's not as big as some other genres, and it's a little bit harder, I think, to be positioned in a way where people can accept, or could hear your music.
mhm.
Yeah,
And since you're talking about, soca and where soca is right now, what do you think
yeah.
we need to do in order to make soca at least as equivalent or at least in par with other music? What are we not doing?
Yeah, my position on this topic, I think, is a little bit. Some people mightn't like what I have to say, but I think that because hmm, um, the genre and the amount of listeners in the genre
Mm,
relative to other genres is small, right? And
mm,
so, yeah, we see our thing as big, and yeah, this music is the best, and all those things, which is all true, right?
yeah.
But we have a numbers issue, right? So when you
Mm,
compare and you watch Afrobeats, and you say, look, Afrobeats now return the scene, and they've gone clear, and the Grammys and the this and the everywhere.
mm-hmm.
Um, it's partially because they have 2 or 3 billion listeners globally, right? Or
Yeah.
not globally, on the continent
Mm-hmm.
alone, right? And then a global listenership, um, which is just as big, or maybe a little bit smaller. So to answer your question, I think that we have to be a little bit more inclusive and less exclusive,
Mm,
right? You have to invite people to the music and not push people out, right? This is Trinidad soca, and this is Guyanese soca, and this is
mm-hmm.
St. Vincent soca, and this over here is Lucian soca, then we segment, and this is bouillon. I mean, I hear you, and we could have that approach, but
Yeah.
then it's gonna stay bouillon, right? It'll
Mm-hmm.
stay Denry, it'll stay Trinidad soca, it'll stay Bajan soca, right?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to being inclusive and just calling it soca, right?
Yeah.
When you watch, when you look at the guitar, right? I challenge you to tell me who created the guitar.
Who created it?
The answer that you're probably going to tell me is I don't know, right? It's just an instrument that the world uses, right?
Mm.
We have a tendency of saying, "Yeah, this is we thing. This is our thing. This
Ah,
is
yeah.
ours." And you could say that, but then I think it'll just continue to be your thing,
Yeah.
right? And it wouldn't grow. it wouldn't be. I think Pan should be the world thing. It should be just as popular as any other instrument. It should be in the opera and all these different places where these other instruments live.
Mm,
That's just my position. So
yeah.
I think that we should be a little bit more inclusive and less exclusive. We should
Yeah.
be making music. We should be, as artists, making music all the time, as opposed to for a particular carnival, or we could take that carnival theme or that carnival um product and say, because there's carnivals all over the world, and so we could say, all right, we'll make music for those carnivals, right? Because what that will do then, it will force you to be making music all the time,
Yeah.
right? If we want to keep the carnival idea for perspective. But outside of that, my answer would be A, um, be more inclusive, and B, create more products throughout the year so that people have an opportunity to hear and see, and the music itself will grow.
Okay. But as you're saying that, I know we make music for crop over, then we'll make music for, well, I'm not sure if they do it for what do you call it? Miami. But I know the
Mhm.
music that they use for Trinidad, they might probably use for Miami and so forth. They did have a debate on Instagram. Everything always happens on Instagram where people's
Yeah.
debates and going back and forth or whatever. So do you think, I mean, from your statement, it sounds like soca is seasonal in a way, even though we start in November, then Carnival might be February or March, and then they'll do Caribana, and then they'll do Miami. So you think we need to make music all round, not just
Yeah,
seasonal?
we should be allowed, this topic is very in depth, and there are a lot of details and a lot of things that need to be spoken about, right? And
Yeah.
I don't know if we can cover it all in this
True,
conversation,
true. In
but I
summary.
think that, like, we should be in a place where we're making albums, right? And we're
Mhm.
promoting a release from the album, right? And so now the album has 12 songs, and now you have an opportunity to play music throughout the year, right? So you might release a song every 3 months, or yeah, in that space. And now there's product,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
As opposed to, no, there is product, but they're not, depending on the carnival, right? For the most part, it's the bigger islands, which is Saint Vincent. Artists are releasing music for Saint Vincent, but those become more Vinci artists,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's the same
Yeah,
thing for Barbados. It's more of the Bajan artists, and so that is their time, and now, it just becomes a regional thing. And I think that um that's a bit disappointing for the genre itself, right? We should just be making music, and we should accept it as one thing. And so if you're from Barbados, you could come Trinidad and reign. You could go anywhere, and because you have a good record, as opposed to, I'm from Barbados, so I'm gonna be big in Barbados, and I wouldn't be big anywhere else because the Trinis won't play me, or because the Dominicans won't play it, or whatever.
yeah,
I think that's just the wrong model.
yeah. Yeah, I spoke to a couple of Afrobeat artists, and they kind of said the same thing, but they said Afrobeat for them took off during the pandemic because during the pandemic, since soca wasn't being played or made or whatever the case is, they found that Afrobeat just dive right in, and that's how they were able to pick up during that season.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
but Afrobeats has this. I don't quote me, but I think it's 2 or 3 million people on the continent, billion
Mm,
rather,
yeah,
right? Like, that's a big number,
it
and you
is.
can't compete with that. Like, you can't compete with that. China, I have 2 million people. Like, you you can't compete with those type of numbers. So yeah, you're gonna have a bigger following. It's gonna be a bigger listenership. The music itself, what people talking about in the music, is relatable to people outside of the culture, right?
Mhm.
Um, Carnival music is carnival music, and it requires an introduction, right? I haven't introduced soca to anybody who was like, "Oh, that's trash." right? Anybody who I've introduced soca music to has been like, they love soca. So I'm saying that soca is great music,
Yeah.
right? However, it requires, in most cases, if I don't say most, well then in many cases, if I shouldn't say most, in many cases it requires an introduction, and then you have the listener. And I think that our content needs to be more in line with much of what's going on in other genres.
So true.
Mhm.
Yeah. I remember when they brought out Electric Pan and people were fighting it down. They're like, why do we have electric pan? Why can't we stick to traditional? Why are they mixing soca? Why are they doing this and that? I'm like, listen, it has to evolve. It's not gonna stay the same,
Absolutely.
you know?
Yeah, there's acoustic guitar and there's electric guitar, like,
Yeah.
and it just depend on your preference. It's still the guitar, and
Yeah.
and the guitar is a good example of the new
Evolution.
and the old, the
Yeah.
evolution of music, and
Yeah.
the instrument itself being a thing and not where it come from.
Yeah. True. All right. So I'd like to touch on Carib, your endorsements and so forth.
Yeah.
Right? Could you divulge, let us know about Carib and Shandy endorsements?
Yeah, during the pandemic, people were trying to do some different things, and I was approached to be an ambassador to Carib. It was a great time in my career. It allowed me to do a lot of great things and perform, and perform with the backing of Carib here in the States. And so yeah, Carib was great. And then following Carib, I got a Shandy partnership, right, for Good Morning and Shandy. So it was just a back-to-back thing, and amazing. I love Carib. I never drink so much Carib before in my life.
Really?
And, yeah, that was just amazing. And I think it's these type of things that help propel the genre too, right? When you're getting these sponsorships and making these connections. And so Carib came at a time. And to this day, I'll do anything for Carib. Anything. Carib
Yeah.
called today and says we need to do this, not a problem.
That's very
Yeah.
good. Very good. So we'll take a short break, a very short break, and we'll come back with you with Sizwe and Nikki G, the voice, on islandvibes.net. Keep it locked.
Yeah.
I come on to party, drink some rum and break. So come on, let me take a little drink now. Party! You guys, it's your girl Nikki Berry, and guess what? I am officially a brand ambassador and artist of the Fetopia Carnival Cruise, and we are going to the Bahamas June 2nd through June 9th. And guess what the best part is? We are leaving out of Brooklyn. We don't have to buy no flights, no hotels. It's just straight from Brooklyn to the Bahamas for a 7-day ultra premium experience, all inclusive. I'm so excited. We're gonna have 14 events on the cruise, on the land in the Bahamas. We're just gonna drink. We're gonna get lashed up. You're gonna see your favorite artists perform. We're getting everything on its bones. So make sure to reserve your spot now and come and chat with me because we will have a time with Fetopia.
Boss, I'm not coming to work today or any other day between June 2nd and June 9th because I'll be on board the Fetopia cruise performing live. That's right, June 2nd to June 9th, 2024. The Fetopia cruise. Get your cabins now. Problem Child Live. It's going to be insane. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Get your cabins now. It's going to be crazy. And it's going to be a holiday.
Fetopia.
What's this?
Welcome to Table Talk with Nikki G the Voice, where we bring to you highlights of entrepreneurs, leaders, organizers, and much more.
Cross the finish line. I'll be coming back for you.
broad spectrum of professionals, including chefs, artists, designers, musicians, and much, much more. Our show is a new brand of talk shows where we educate, bring transparency, and last but not least, fun. Table talk. Get ready for our seasons, a roller coaster of emotions, all wrapped into one. Caribbean style. We'll cover our Caribbean roots as well, so keep it locked. Welcome to Table Talk. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and iTunes.
Own it, girl, you just own it. 'Cause your body's on fire. Show me how to control it.
Table Talk Show is now on Island Vibes Radio. You can catch us every Saturday from 10 to 12 p.m. Log on to Island Vibes Philly or islandvibe.net.
Broadcasting live from Philadelphia, Island Vibe, Philly's newest and hottest station.
You're listening to IslandVibes.net. All your hits banging right here. Philly #1 Caribbean station. Best in dancehall.
Undisputed champion. Heavyweight, world great. At the Met Gaza celebrate.
Call the Uber. Call the Uber now. I am coming to ya.
Reggaeton.
Algunos parecen todavía. Viven en el siglo de la hombría. Que te arregles solo para ellos. Y que pa' tu hombre te maquilla.
Love in my heart. Rum in my veins. I so love my rum. Bring an next bottle again. I so love my rum. Bring an next bottle again.
And more. IslandVibes.net.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to Table Talk Show with Nikki G, the voice. I'm here with Sizwe, and we've had a great time. We had some little technical stuff. So if you see some black spots and so forth, you could go back and see the beginning. We're gonna reload the video so you could get, some of the parts that you missed. But I want to thank you for logging in. You could also check us out on islandvibe.net if you want to listen to us. All right. So, Sizwe,
Yep.
how are you feeling?
Life is good.
Yeah, life is good.
Live, love, and vibe soca.
That is true. So true. So true. So your process when you're thinking of, when you so since you write and you sing and you produce and so forth, what's your thought process when it comes to a song? Do you just do it off the whim, or is it like from experience?
It just depends, right? Some songs I didn't write, right? Some songs I did write. So song like Capital, I didn't write. But a song like Give Me Some I wrote, Trouble I wrote.
Okay.
So it just depends. And for me, when I write, it's really about the rhythm and the rhythm talking to me. There are some writers who are just like phenomenal and they could write a song in their head and don't need anything. Actually, they can compose. They are composing the music in their mind as they're writing. I'm not that skilled, right? I ain't that skilled. But so for me, is I need a wicked producer to put together something that speaks to me, and then it'll normally start with bottom or something in my head. But outside of that, that's my things come together to me.
It just rings in my head Caribbean because it that's the first thing is waist, wine,
exactly.
physique, whatever the case is. But transitioning, or I shouldn't say transitioning, but doing production and singing, like what made you get into producing?
Production. It's kind of in hand. Sometimes you might have that sound you're looking for, right? So you got to know how to, pull out the keyboard. um, knock a 8 bar or something like that, or or a loop or something, and try to knock it out and put something together. So just it's not because it's almost like I do graphics as well, right? And
Oh.
I do graphics because there were times where I couldn't get the work done,
Mm.
so I needed to figure it out and get it done. So I think it's a natural progression, um,
Okay.
where when you're in music to be able to at least start a production.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
because you find some people would say, you know what, I had to stay in my lane. I'm not technical savvy. I mean, some
Yeah,
people can't even do their bio. Some people can like do a page, for instance,
yeah,
something as simple. So to go and do production and but actually I know someone who there's certain things they can do, but they actually do production, technical in that sense,
yeah. Yeah,
They
I
started
just
it.
think that it's based off of a need and having to fulfill that need, and sometimes like I get it, but there are people who might be able to write the bio. They wouldn't be able to write it as good as a writer, but
Yeah,
they were able to get the bio done, right? So I
yeah,
wouldn't say, oh, I am a producer and I produce this or that. I'm saying that
yeah.
I can produce. I can um give you a product,
Hmm.
and if we're comparing apples, then my apple would be, would have some lumps in it, but
Mm.
it's definitely still an apple.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Working with Madman Stuntman, could you tell us about that?
Mad Stuntman. Yeah, real to real. I like to move it. I am his official MC. Uh, and yeah, I've been able to, man, working with him has been a joy, just kind of for me to be able to see another side of music and music production. And what I mean by music production is stage performance and stage production, right? Um, recently we did 20,000 people in Cuba, and another 20,000 people in Prague. Um,
Wow.
and him giving me the opportunity to sing my songs on those stages, with him,
Yeah,
um, opens the soca door too to a group of listeners that wouldn't have normally have heard genre, So again, taking this thing as an ambassadorship and bringing culture to people who might not necessarily have been able to see it, or who might not have seen it before, you know.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, that those experiences have been I can't wait. I think we have Italy coming up and other places like
yeah.
yeah, it'll be mad. Yeah,
Have ha
definitely.
have you been on a stage where, since I mean, we want to think and say that soca is worldwide and you have different stages and, where you've been and so forth. Has there been a time that you could relate or you could tell us where you've been on stage and people wasn't moving and you had to try to make them move or try to introduce them to the culture and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, there are many stages I've been on where I have been in culture and they moving.
Yeah,
That is just something that I think I, I dare not say all, but many
yeah,
artists have to deal with, right? Especially if you're not a household name,
yeah,
people, and it's not because people, when people are standing up, right, and they're
yeah,
quiet, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, right? It's a good thing because those people are watching, right?
mm,
They're getting to know you, they're getting familiar, right? So they're taking their time and they're watching, right? They're
yeah,
taking it in. It's different when they booing or nobody ain't listening or they turn around or they walking around, they talking. That's something different, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
so when an artist is in that space where like people they're standing up, that is
mm,
your time to take advantage of that because they are watching, right? And
yeah,
remember, I talked earlier about is a perspective, right?
yeah,
And changing your mindset about some of these things that might appear to be negative, but
mm,
on the surface, but they're truly not. So when I reach a crowd that's just kind of standing up,
mm-hmm.
like sometimes there's a big space between the stage
Yeah,
and the crowd, right? Because they
yeah,
kind of stand off it. It's not because It's not because they like, they just taking it in. So that's my opportunity to come off the stage and go to them, right? And engage them. And I find that when I do that, then I get the movement and emotion and I'm looking for the energy, right? Because they're
Yeah.
taking it in and listening. So yeah, that happens. It has happened to me on a number of occasions. And
Hmm.
I just try to capitalize on that by engaging them, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Make the best of it. Yeah. So I'm reading through your accolades. 2018, we touched on that with nomination for International Soca Awards. 2014, Legacy Miami 40 under 40, Black Leaders of Today and Tomorrow.
Yep.
2019, winner of International Soca Monarch. Would you like to tell us about the Legacy Miami 40 under 40?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a local magazine where they celebrate 40 under 40 leaders, black leaders of today and tomorrow.
Mm,
And I was one of them. It was a great accomplishment, achievement. I don't have the plaque here, but yeah, just to be a part of that and to be amongst 40 other leaders of their situation, whether it's business and management or whatever the case is. Yeah, that was a great time. So yeah.
yeah, that's very good. 2022, 23 collaboration with Shandy. I actually miss Shandy. That was one of my favorite drinks.
Yeah, it's still
I still, well, not,
here.
you know, I was thinking of not Shandy, Green Sands.
Okay, okay.
That's showing my age, but Green Sands was one of my
Yeah,
favorites. I love Shandy, definitely.
yeah.
But Green Sands was one that they took away, and I'm like, why? It was the best
Hmm.
tasting, you know? But I guess
Hmm.
it didn't have, a lot of people didn't like it. I don't know. They took it
Yeah,
away.
yeah, yeah.
Mm,
One of my favorites too.
yeah.
You know. But yeah,
Um,
definitely we talked about Spain. Yeah.
yeah. So Sierra Leone, you were invited to Sierra Leone. How was that
Yeah.
experience?
Yeah, Sierra Leone was magical. Sierra Leone was in the Afro-Caribbean festival. And yeah, we were invited and man, it was a coming home. Um
Mm,
I did before I did that trip, I did my African genealogy or AfricanAncestry.com, right? And it took some time to come back, and then we got the booking for Sierra Leone, and so yeah, we prepared for that. And then the ancestry came back, and it's 98 point something percent paternal lineage Sierra Leone, right? So I I actually went home, you know,
yeah.
um, and so yeah, it was red carpet and um open for lyrical. Yeah, it was definitely a big major vibe, you
Mm.
know. And it was their first time, like, and they brought like music truck and they brought carnival to Sierra Leone, you know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so it was on the road and, encourage people to bring the costumes who came and
Yeah.
encourage the people of Sierra Leone to participate
Uh,
in the carnival itself. We went up the road and I mean, it was a big jump. I think that jump, it was a big jump. That jump had been maybe 5 miles or 10 miles or something, but
mm.
it was a, for what it was a big jump, you know? And, yeah, the people was like, they was loving it and children and things. So yeah, Sierra Leone was
The vibe.
magic, and then we had a big concert the day prior to the jump. Yeah, definitely, and they treated me like royalty. Yeah, yeah, it was a big deal. So
So
yeah,
the big smile about royalty, besides the red carpet, what else happened?
I was able to touch the soil, right? You know, there are some things that happen, right, that
Mm.
I guess it's part of the story. Like they lost the luggage for like the whole trip, right? So I didn't have luggage for like 4 days. And for the last day or the last 2 days, I think we got out the day of the show. So that was January 1st. On December 31st, is when we got our clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the day of the show. And then we did the next day, and then following day after that is when we left, right?
Oh, wow.
So, but in hindsight, or after the fact, we realized that, yeah, but you were home and you were in Africa, and I was able
Yeah.
to touch that. My son, I have this paternal lineage thing, right? That's my father's father's father, or whatever the case is, right? And
Yeah.
so I was able to go, and then I was able to bring my son, and so he was able to see and to touch the soil too, and the
Oh,
water, and
beautiful.
experience those things. Yeah. So it
Yeah.
was it was definitely like a coming
Yeah.
home that I can't wait to go back.
Yeah. That is beautiful. As you mentioned your son, right?
Yeah.
In your perspective, what would you say to youths of today in our culture to give them that boost if they want to get into this industry or any type of form of entertainment they want to do or work-wise? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think I'm not big on the advice thing. I think that because my lane and my route is
It's
different than
different.
yours,
Yeah,
right?
a
So,
general thing.
but I would, if I'm to give anything, would be I would give you the space to do your thing, right?
Hmm.
Oftentimes I think a older generation might say, nah, that is not soca, or that is not this, or that is not that, right? Or this ain't good, right? And I think that's not my place. My
Yeah.
place is to encourage you. I think my place is to encourage you to do what it is that you want to do, right? It mightn't sound good to me, or it mightn't be a thing that I do, right? But it doesn't mean that it's bad. So, um, generally speaking, I would say I would encourage our youth to continue doing what they do. And there's some there's some bad mind men and some people who doing shit. Excuse my French, right? But those people will get weeded out. Like, if you're committing crimes, and the laws will come for you, right?
Hmm.
And there are other people who are generally making music and trying to make a mark for themselves and trying to make a way for their family, and those people will flourish. And so I think my job is to encourage that. And if I have a space where they could come and do that, then they could come and record, and I encourage those things.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
You're launching your music band.
Yeah. Exit Band. Exit Band International.
Yeah.
Hmm. Already talk about it. Yeah, no, Exit Band. Exit Band is about a year in. We've been trying to do this thing, and we're at a point now where we're gonna launch April 20th. Um, and yeah, so I'm one of the lead singers. I have one of my friends, Jax from Montreal, who's coming down, and he's also part of the situation.
Nice.
Um, we have our music engineer from Grenada. We have a wicked drummer, Carpe. Um, yeah, like, oh man, it's Trini Soldiers on the rhythm section, and yeah,
Mm,
yeah, it's gonna be a movie. So we're
very
having
nice.
this private listening party on April 20th,
Okay.
and yeah, and I'm hoping that having the band will allow for more opportunities for local artists to perform. And I'm all about like trying to build and giving people opportunities. Much of that is because I didn't get many as I came up.
Okay.
I learned and got a lot of this what I have received kind of on my own and through a lot of fight. Um, and so my goals have always been to give if I have a platform. And so I'm grateful to be able to have this platform and to be able to be in a position to where, all right, my other friends in the genre who might not have opportunities might get opportunity with our band.
Mm,
And there are other opportunities for me to sing, of course, and to
yeah.
spread the music. So yeah, I'm excited about Exit Band.
So you're not like a gatekeeper where you keep all the knowledge and you don't want people to find out about X, Y, and Z
Yeah,
because you
no,
want them to
absolutely not.
work
Absolutely not.
harder.
Yeah,
Mm,
no, 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 no. There's a lot of that, right? But
hmm.
um, I I get in trouble with my management about Sizwe, you know, like, always trying, you need to help us out, Vybe, you know, you're always bringing somebody on. Yeah, and it's because, you know, for the most part, I've been doing it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if I had a little bit some more opportunities given, you know, I'd be a little bit further, you know. So I'm not a gatekeeper. I if I have a piece of knowledge, you
Yeah.
see, me teaching you, right, or giving you something
Mm.
from my vantage point doesn't take away from me, right? Now, if you exceed past me
Mm-hmm.
based off of something that I told you, all that means is that I went to sleep, right? And I didn't do what I needed to do, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so me giving you knowledge is it's all about what you do with it. And if you accept, then great. You know, and if I fall, it's because I tripped. It's not because I told you or I gave you some information. You know, at
Yeah.
least that's how I see it. So
Mm.
yeah, no, I'm not a gatekeeper, and I do the best I can. And if I have something to offer, I'm going to offer it and give you a platform and you come and sing and do your thing. You know,
Yeah.
again, it has to make sense, you know, if you're not ready, then you're not ready for that stage, right? So
Exactly.
I'm not gonna give you that stage. But if I think that you're ready, then why not? Why wouldn't I bring you on the stage so you could get a little 2 minutes to sing two songs or whatever the case is, you know? And that person is gonna remember that for the rest of their life, you know, that
That's
you gave
true.
them an opportunity, you know, and I respect and honor those things.
All right. So I know you just mentioned about the band and the launch and so forth. This launch is gonna happen in Canada or where is it
No,
happening?
Montreal. I mean Montreal, Miami.
Oh, in Miami. Okay.
Yeah. April 20th.
Okay. So you'll send us the flyer because we could post it up for you
Sure, thank you.
if you'd like and so forth.
Yeah.
Um, just give us a little history of how the band came together.
Yeah, so you know, I've had a dream of always wanting to be a part of a band, you know, and I've been trying to develop um I've been trying to develop a band situation when I perform, right?
Hmm.
So I would bring a percussionist, Trini Soldier with me. I might bring horns, a horn section or something with me to perform, right? So it was just all in this effort to create this band. And then a friend of mine, Peter Wildfire Noel, um, and he had an idea to with one of his partners to develop this band situation, and he called me into it. Um, you know, due to some other reasons, he wasn't able to continue with the band, and so, but we are still there along with Fox and these other guys, um, to help push this band forward. So, yeah, so now it's Exit Band, and it's not Sizwe C and Exit Band, it's just Exit Band, you know,
Yeah.
and I think that's important that it's not about me, it's about the band,
The
you know, and
entire
if
as a whole
yeah,
entity.
the whole entity, right? And if I get a book in, I might bring the bands, then it might be Sizwe, it's an exit band. But as it
Yeah.
is right now, it's exit band. And yeah, we're looking forward to what's all the great positive things gonna happen in the near future.
Very nice. So
Yeah.
I come across, I should say, a lot of artists in the industry, in different industries and so forth, right? Have you ever thought of management?
Yeah, right. This is again another natural progression. You know, as you get older and trying to do other things in music, you know,
Mm.
you know, once upon a time I could fly off the stage and jump up and you know, and
Yeah.
now I require a mic stand. You know, and I could
Uh,
do my thing and come back to the mic stand. But so
yeah.
yeah, you know, I enjoy the managing aspect of music as well. And so at some point, I think in my career, I would be managing, you know, a few artists. You know, I have this
Okay.
company called Vybe Entertainment, and that's the goal is to try to set up some type of label where we offer management, artist development, production, and
Okay.
those things. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
we're on that track. Yeah.
All right. So you do have you so tell us a little bit more in summary of We Big Entertainment.
Yeah, we have a couple artists who we help. I wouldn't say we manage, or I wouldn't say that we're signed because we're not there yet.
Okay.
But the goal of We Big Entertainment was just to be a place where if you needed um, a video done,
Mm-hmm.
then you could reach out and as a member of We Big Entertainment, you might get a video done. Maybe not at the cost at the regular rate, but at a We Big Entertainment rate, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the reason for that is because I understand that when we're starting out in music, you might not have the funds, the capital to put forward all this money in your projects, even though it's absolutely necessary, right? Like it's absolutely necessary to get a video. It's absolutely necessary to have the right production. It's absolutely necessary to have a good photographer, and, you know. But most of us, most of the up and coming artists, you know, are struggling artists. And so the intent was to have this entity that can help provide that resource for you
Yeah.
at a limited cost, you know. So that's kind of where we are today.
Okay. And what would an artist need to have? Because I know there's artists listening and upcoming artists and so forth.
They would
What
just
would
need
they need to have in order to reach out to you?
yeah, they just need to send an email, and when we could go through the music, and if they're at a place where I think that we could help support them, you know, we will. You know, it's not about being a star or being a well-known individual. It's about that work ethic and the ability and the need to be seen, and to the need to have product, right? You know, so again, when we talk about collaborations, and I'm saying I collaborate with anybody, it just has to make sense, right?
True.
And I'm not in it I'm not in, at least at this juncture of We Big Entertainment, it's not about making money, but just providing an assistance to those artists who might need it.
Okay. Because I have a couple in mind, so I want to make sure that I'm able to send them to you just for you
Yeah,
to give them, because I tend to do that where I'll be the middle person where I'll tell them, okay, this is the person who I know, you could go to them, they can help you with bios, they can help you, you know. And
yeah,
most person be like, Nikki, why you can't do it? You don't have so much information. I'm the information person, and I'll
yeah,
send
yeah,
it
yeah,
to you. You know, if you need to
yeah,
make a video, if you need a voice, if you need certain things, I would do it. But, you know, I let Jack hold his jacket and do what they need to do and put them in the
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing, right? We're kind of a middleman, but I have agreements with videographers and with photographers, and to say, all right, if we call, it's about this thing, trying to build something, as
Yeah.
opposed to, and I know, right? Like you as a photographer is in it to make money too, and so it's not a free tip, but
Exactly.
definitely maybe at a little bit above cost, you know,
Yeah.
so we both can get this cross in IT you might call it cross domain solution, right?
Mhm.
But in Tim, well, this kind of like uh one hand don't clap, you know.
Yeah. And
Uh,
that's what it is in networking.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what that's what We Big Entertainment is right now. But I would like to take it to another level eventually, where we're fully managing, and maybe even as a from a label perspective, where we can offer deals and help propel the music and the genre forward.
That's very good. I have one question before we get into your videos.
Yeah.
And I know the time is winding down. We also have a game that we play just to
And
unwind. And before
yeah,
before I introduce you to the show, I wanted to let you know that this is a show that we try not to make too formal, where you're at home, you relaxed, and we just vibes in, you know? So the format that you might find where I going back and forth and I doing this and that and stuff like that is like, it's just a relaxed vibe, you know?
sure.
Welcome home. Okay, so this question I have, your official MC for real to real.
Surreal.
Yeah.
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 So
Tell us
real
about.
to real is Madman Stuntman, the mad stuntman.
Okay,
Um,
okay. That's the name of
right?
it.
So yeah,
Mm,
it's real to real, and real to real is the umbrella, and under real to real is stuntman, and by proxy me, you know.
okay,
So
okay.
yeah,
Nice.
that's
Okay.
real to real.
Very nice. All right, so we're gonna take a little break. We're gonna show one of Sizwe's videos, and we will be right back.
Good morning. Once again, Sizwe. How diggy 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 doom day. How diggy 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 doom day. How diggy 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 doom day. have an opinion about my life. I could care less, cause I only bring in good vibes. Oh, feeling myself, you could see it in my smile. And I singing, oh, don't worry about me when I'm in a zone. Free up yourself, cause you already know. I'm just living life, do what you like. Don't keep it all inside, say good morning. I real like superhero. Anytime I stepping out, don't need no S on my chest or no cape. You already know what I'm about. Stay in my lane, I don't bring no negative vibes, no. Put your hands up if you're loving your life. And we sing it. Oh, don't worry about me when I'm in a zone. Free up yourself cause you already know. I'm just living life, do what you like. Don't keep it all inside, say good morning.
Oh my god! It's Sizwe C!
All right, so we started with good morning, right? So I want to know, what was your thought process when you made that song Good Morning?
Yeah, so good morning is a long story, but Fi and I went to Panama to shoot play, right? Big up La Pan all the time, the executive director. And so while in Panama, you know, when we got there, we were just working from the time we reached. And then so the day that we left, the day that we were leaving, I told Fire, listen, I'm gonna go in the pool. Right? That was like 6 o'clock in the morning. He was like, go in the pool. Like, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Right? I'm like, yeah, well, I'm in Panama and I ain't touched the pool yet. You know, sun bright outside, be good. Right? So I went. So he's like, all right. So he went and I went in the pool and I went to call my wife to say, like, you know, like, good morning, you know, from Panama, you know what I'm saying? And she didn't answer the phone, right? And that's because there's a time difference, you know? So I didn't want to waste that good morning, right? So I went on my live and did a IG post and it was like, what? I think I came on the water and it was like, you know, this thing. And that kind of went viral, you know, like it was the next morning I did a next good morning, right? So people were thinking, I was doing this good morning thing for a week, 2 weeks, and people were thinking, oh, this is promo for a song, you know? But I didn't have no song. It was just, you know, a progression from the time where I was in the pool.
Oh, what happened? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I had a song that I was writing for that rhythm. And while we was in the studio, Fire and I was telling Fire, yo, I feel you gotta make a good morning song, you know.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, yeah, but we have a song on it. We have a song on our rhythm already. And I was
Mhm.
like, nah, we need a song. Say good morning. So the producer, Keisha, from just now, was late to the session. So it allowed us to pen this new song, Good Morning. And that's how the song came about. It wasn't that I had this idea for Good Morning. It was
Yeah.
I was doing this Good Morning campaign um from time and then said, oh well, maybe we need to do a song with the campaign. And so that's how Good Morning came about. And it was like, and Good Morning was a time that I think people needed to hear Good Morning. You know,
Mm.
I got a lot of messages, and then I was doing this Good Morning thing and Good Morning with these positive messages behind it, and people, big men were in my inbox like, "You saved my life today,"
Oh,
or
wow.
I nearly ended it all today, right?
Mm.
And your good morning took me off the ledge, you know. And I was getting those type of messages maybe at least once or twice a week, you
Yeah.
know. So that it touched me like that messaging, just a simple good morning, could go a long way for people.
Yeah.
So yeah, good morning has a special place for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I mean, it is for me too, because I mean, coming from Trinidad, growing up, I remember a time, well, there was a good and a bad, but it taught me that you can't pass no neighbor without saying good morning. You cannot go
Hmm.
into a car without saying good morning. Over here, people like to open the door for you and they don't
Hmm.
let the door slam in your face. But in Trinidad, you have to say good morning, you know?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I remember a time I'm walking um down the hill or whatever. Trinidad, certain parts are like really hilly. And my mom and I used to live on a certain street, and the neighbor came outside, but he was like a grumpy man, eh? So sometimes I used to
Hmm.
be like, oh, I had to pass and tell this man good morning every morning. So I
Hmm.
decide playing fast with my little self, and I was like, I ain't saying good morning. I'll just pretend I see him. So I walk past. By the time I get home, my mom knew.
Wow.
My mom was like, you didn't
You're
tell him good morning. You passed Mr. Drayton and you never tell him good morning? And that was it for me. Like I know that culture stays. Like even here,
Yeah.
I would do it, in stores,
Yeah.
whatever. I tend to say that. All right. So the next song that we played
Hmm.
is Hush Your Mouth and Wine, or I probably have it wrong.
Hush your mouth and wine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So tell us a little bit about that.
Hush your mouth and wine came after, Fire and Wine on You, and it was just another record that song was written by Kamal George. Yeah, Kamal George. And yeah, it was just another record that I think was accepted around, and yeah, it was a good time for me too.
Yeah.
I think sometimes, and these are like true things, like trouble is a true story. And well, Miguel give me two pieces of lash behind the truck, whole day you want to play, I tell you don't play. All those things is true. And um Hush Your Mouth and Wine is also sometimes you reach a party and somebody want to talk to you and you just really just want to whine, and I don't really want to have this long talk, old talk with you, and some fellas just take it too far, and she just might want to bend over and do she thing and go about her
And
business, you
go,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So yeah, Hush Your Mouth and Wine was that type of story. Yeah,
Nice, really nice. Okay, so we're gonna set up two more songs.
sure. Yeah,
It's
you have to
Play.
set up Capital too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Capital. I told him about
All
Capital, so
right.
he's
All
gonna
right.
play that as well. Um, so we'll play the video. You guys stay tuned.
All right.
I want to play, nobody. I want to play, nobody. I want to play, nobody. Yeah. On the road, on the road, on the road, on the road. I come to play nice. On the road, on the road, on the road, on the road, on the road. On the road, on the road, on the road, on the road, on the road.
Once again, alright, stop. G2 drop, gal go down like boom boom bop top shop. Huh, stallion, no stamina, them give me the medallion. Yeah, broke off your back, walk your hard, give you heart attack. Gal believe that, me na name Jerry, but me boss the cat.
Oh God, she got me hypnotized. Sweet helper to my eyes. Top girl, you win the prize. Oh God, no time to fantasize. If you the wine of your life, 'cause I come to play nice. On the road, on the road, on the road, on the road, on the road. I want to play. On the road, on the road, on the road, on the road, on the road. I come to play. I want to play. Nobody. 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 I want to play. Nobody.
Let's go. It's mass on the white line, boy. Trouble on the asphalt, boy, boy, boy. It's mass on the pavement, boy. Strictly bad behavior. Yeah. Welcome to the capital. The capital of the fetting business. Eh, eh. Welcome to Bacchanal. Prepare to lose yourself in the fetting madness. Hey, just know from your reaches lashing, punching, getting a lashing, white oak getting a lashing. The word for today is lashing, and the doubles getting a lash, and the curry getting a lash. And I'm sorry for being a chat, and we got throw the waste in the trash, trash, trash. It's big truck and bass, it's Bamba Man waste. From start to finish this place, 'cause we don't have time to waste. Rock shot for 2 days, it's wet all over the place. Bumpers getting laced, oh, it's links for days. And it's mass on the white line, boy. Trouble on the asphalt, boy, boy, boy. It's mass on the pavement, boy. Strictly bad behavior. Welcome to the capital. The capital of the fetting business. Eh, eh. Welcome to Bacchanal. Prepare to lose yourself in the fetting madness. Hey, just know from your reaches lashing, punching, getting a lashing, white oak getting a lashing. The word for today is lashing, and the doubles getting a lash, and the curry getting a lash. And I'm sorry for being a chat, and we got throw the waste in the trash, trash, trash. Yes, all inclusive, real addictive, food and liquor, girls attractive, but 2 morning, we out on the road, it's nothing to sober low. And it's mass on the white line, boy. Trouble on the asphalt, boy, boy, boy. It's mass on the pavement, boy. Strictly bad behavior, yo. Welcome to the capital. The capital of the fetting business.
All right, welcome back to Island Vibe. Oh boy, you have a catalog of songs that's so melodic. It's like, the vibes and everything, it's really
Thank you.
catchy. Very, very catchy. So
Thank
did you go to Trinidad Carnival this year by chance?
I didn't go. I was there. I was there twice early. I think I was there January. I think beginning of January, end of January. I went twice because we shot the music video, and then I went back at a show. And then I came back.
Oh, so you
So
didn't take part. All right.
in the
But
carnival, yeah.
I don't know if you got a chance to look at the costumes and stuff like that. So I just wanted to get your perspective on, the costumes, how what direction you think with that face that you just made, what direction you think Carnival is going to, if you could compare to, let's say, a Miami or a Brazil or a Trinidad or a St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and so forth. Where do you see our carnival going as far as that is concerned?
So I come from a time where mass had a story, right?
Mhm.
It had a story, and you portrayed that story in costume.
Yeah.
And so the mass depicted that. I think where we are in mass today doesn't necessarily depict that story, right? Like, you know, yeah. However, I think that if this is carnival, where the carnival and the masqueraders want to be, well, then that's where they want to be, you know. And I don't think that I should be telling people like that it should be this or it should be that, right?
Right.
There's a
Yeah.
natural evolution of these things, and if you hold, and there are bands that keep hold to that tradition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if that's important to you, then you should go and explore those mass bands.
Yeah.
And if the skimpy mass or the Brazilian style mass is your thing, then that's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we celebrating life in in this carnival thing. We're celebrating culture, we're celebrating music,
That's true.
and a freedom, right? A freedom, and this thing to be free. We one of the places where your size is not necessarily important, you know, and it's really about how you feel, right? So this is why somebody who might be a little on the heavy side could still come out and put on a costume and still break away and have a great time, you know. And
Yeah.
so that's the great thing about our culture and our music and our carnival, you know. So if it allows you to be free, then I'm okay with it.
All for it. Okay. And the bands that you can play with, if you want to do traditional bands, you have the Sailor band, you have the Apache band, and you know, they have different ones. They usually have it online, so you could search up and see which band you want to play with. The pricings are there, the costume, I think the costume sizes are there and so forth, and the numbers are there, so you could contact them to let them know, you know, what you want and all that good stuff. Soca Monarch. Okay, so let me play my game because we're down to the wire. We're 5 minutes down to the wire.
Right.
2 hours just went by like that, you know? So before I do my game, I want you to give everyone your social media handles where they can find you. If you want to give out email, phone number, all those things.
At It's Sizwe, at ITSSIZWE, at It's Sizwe. That's pretty much on all the social media. I think Facebook is Sizwe C Soca, and Twitter or X is at It's Sizwe, and Instagram at It's Sizwe. Exit Band International, Exit Band INT, and we big at WEBIGENT, We Big Entertainment. Yeah, so yeah, that's what you can find, man. If you have any questions, and I say this in every interview, you know, so you could just go on www.google.com and
Google you.
type.
I said that last night. I was talking to some people, I was like, Google me.
You know, but
yeah. That's all right.
So the game.
Right, down to my game. I had to get a drop from my game, you know, because I realized people like this portion of it and stuff like that. So I hope you like it too. All right. So my game consists of, I usually do one words, and all you have to do is give one word. If I find it's really interesting, I might ask you to elaborate, but just give one word for these, okay? It's Sizwe.
Fly.
Progress.
Strength.
Education.
A must.
Trinidad.
Home.
America.
Rich.
Rich in what?
Rich in everything.
Okay, all right. Woman. Woman or woman. Woman.
Bottom.
Soca.
Love.
Weed. That's a word.
Yeah, I'm not weed man. I'm not high man. So
okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for that. That's it for my word game.
That's
that's for my word game. Now for my questions game. This is just it's very short. You don't have to answer like all the others, but these are very short answers in summary, right? Soca Monarch, What does it mean to you?
Soca Monarch was a goal, right? Like I think that, and we understood that if you won Soca Monarch, you would have won any game of soca,
Mm-hmm.
So it meant a lot to me as I haven't been on a Soca Monarch stage in my
Mm.
career, you know.
Okay. All right. I thought you stick there. If heaven had a gate for you to walk up to, right? Yeah, dead or nothing, because people always, when I say heaven, they think you're dead. So if it had a
And
gate to walk up to, what would you like God to tell you?
um, if I'm in or not, if
If you
I'm in or not, right?
really you
Which
would
way?
like to do
Which
uh
way?
all right. um what advice would you give to your younger self?
Mm, um, believe in yourself, you know. I would also, no, I think I would just, sometimes this genre, I think, and music, I think in general, has a way to kind of to beat you up, right? Because
Mm,
artists and not just artists like musicians, but even artists in the arts itself, right? You are creating this thing, and then you're gifting it to the world, and
yeah.
when they don't receive it, or they might say, that record is not that good, or whatever. Like that has a way of hurting your ego and your esteem, and you know and sometimes it makes you feel like, well, maybe you're not good enough, right? Or maybe the music that you're doing is not good enough, or maybe you're not that good at all in general, you know.
Yeah.
And it kind of maybe attacks your self-esteem, and at least it has for me at times, you know. And so I would just say that to keep going, keep striving for excellence and put yourself out there,
Okay.
put your best foot forward, and you know, believe in your product and yourself. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So this question that I'm gonna ask you, I have to tell you that you could put it in whatever you want to put it in. If it's in your music industry, if you want to put it in general life or whatever, right? This is just a throw it out there question. What sound turns you on?
What sound turns me on? um, Iron.
Stepan?
Not steel pan,
Or
iron.
the iron itself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Nice.
like there's a major attraction to me. If somebody knocking iron in a
Yeah,
party, like I could hear that, and I'm gonna find my way to wherever that iron is
yeah,
and try my best to
nice.
gather enough to.
I've had a singer tell me that she likes the sound of a beat. When she gets a really, really good beat, she's like,
Hmm.
that like just gets me, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Iron
yeah.
for me.
What is your pet peeve?
I have a few.
We have all day.
I have a few.
Name three.
Um, yeah, I think
Top three.
wrong and strong,
Yeah,
um, is one.
yeah.
People who don't listen, right?
Mm,
And I think listening is a skill. I think that, that is definitely a pet peeve of mine.
yeah.
Another one is ungratefulness,
Mm,
right? So,
yeah,
not recognizing that somebody has done for you, or that, people are going out their way, or whatever the case is, just, having some consideration
gratitude.
for
Yeah,
those who've done whatever, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So those are top three.
That's your top three. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What will give you an ultimate high?
Mm. What has given me an ultimate high, I would say, is soca for sure. Right? On Carnival Monday or Carnival Tuesday, as you're getting as you're getting closer to the stage, or to the end, and reaching that, like, 'cause you're tired, and you know you whatever, you're ready to go, or it's been outside all day, but you ain't
Yeah.
reached yet, and getting there and floating on that cloud to get you to the end, right? That is a high that is unmatched, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not a high man, but like that, the end of carnival, or the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're floating, high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. And relationship advice. Any relationship advice you'd like to get, whether it be friendship, marriage, relationship advice.
Um, yeah, I think that I would just simply say that, take everything on face value, right? Um, People come in and they come out of your life, right? Um, and as much as you might not want them to come out, in many cases they do, right? And so you should be prepared for that uh that this thing mightn't last, and you use it for what it is, and then carry on to the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do have, everyone's in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Someone told me
Yeah.
that years ago when I was going through stuff,
Yeah.
and that helped me because I was like, you know what? This person was just here for whatever reason they were here for, to help me grow. And I
Yeah.
accepted that, and it was able to let go,
Yeah.
Not to
Or
say
to
that
help
I'm,
them grow. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Not to say
So,
what? So what are you gonna say again?
oh, I was gonna say, not to say that I'm losing them and I should. The
Mm-hmm.
time had just ended. Sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
hold on to something, whether it be good, or let's say the bad. You're holding on to something that's bad, but you need to let go, because whatever they came to teach you and help you in a way, if you could call it help, right? It's just time to let them go, because it's enough. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, like, and then, and again, they might have needed you,
Yeah,
right?
that
And
too.
then, and then they didn't need you anymore, and so they had to move on for whatever reason. Sometimes it manifests in a fight, or it manifests in a breakup, or whatever the case
Yeah.
is, right? But
Yeah.
it's very important how you switch that level of thinking and saying, all right, well, you know, no love lost, right? It
Yeah.
is what it is, and you, like as you said, came in for a season or a reason, and
Yeah.
now it's on to the next thing.
Yeah. I actually had to tell a friend that because she lost her mom. I mean, I'm sure we've all lost somebody in a family. And I had to tell
Hmm.
her that. I was like, your mom was here. She did what she had to do. She took care of you. Now it's you to carry on what she taught you, you know?
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
I haven't spoken to her about it yet, if it helps and stuff, because that hurt stays with you. And this time that allows you to either forget how hurt you are and then to continue?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I want to thank you for accepting my requests and so forth. And I want to thank Pocket, who's locked on, for
Yeah.
bringing you our way. And it's a good vibe, a really good vibe. I wish you
Yeah.
all the best in all
Thank you.
your endeavors, success and so forth. Is there anything else you wanted to tell our
No,
audience?
thank you for having me. Sometimes we get these interviews and they're quick and without a thorough thought
Yeah.
behind the interview. And those things are good for what they are, but these interviews are also good to allow people to get to know you a little bit more beyond what they hear on our record, or beyond what they heard in other interviews. And so I hope that I portrayed myself in a manner in which people understood. And we talked about some things that might be a little sticky as it relates to carnival, or music, and
Yeah.
um, and how the world sees that. But
Mm.
my intent is along the lines as many other people, and that's just to try to make as great music that I could make, and to portray the culture in a way that is positive, and that people can receive it and say, yeah, but that was a great song, and it's from this region, and whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Very well said. So everyone, thank you for locking it into Table Talk Show. It's Sizwe. We're gonna have the links at the bottom. I think Pocket is saying something, but I can't listen to the voice note right now. But
Okay.
thanks again, Pocket, for
Get out to
everything.
Jaro Pocket.
Shout out to everyone that's locked on and listening. Any questions that we have there, I will answer it. Maybe on Facebook, on Instagram. You guys could get me on Instagram at Nikki G the Voice. Also, islandvibe.net. We have other DJs who will be on, so you can listen to them throughout the day. And keep it locked. Thank you for listening. It was a perfect day to me. Outside is nice and sunny. I thought it was gonna rain, so everybody enjoy your weekend. You enjoy your weekend as well. And keep it locked to islandvibe.net with Nikki G the Voice on Table Talk Show. Peace.
All right.
Boss, I'm not coming to work today or any other day between June 2nd and June 9th because I'll be on board the Fatopia Cruise performing live. That's right, June 2nd to June 9th, 2024. The Fatopia Cruise. Get your cabins now. Problem Child Live. It's going to be insane. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Get your cabins now. It's going to be crazy. And it's going to be a holiday.
Fatopia. Don't tell me about work, I out on the road today. Me and some pretty bitches, I out on the boat today. I don't care what time of day it is, I'm drinking rum today. I'm having fun today. Yeah!
Fatopia.
Broadcasting live from Philadelphia, Island Vibe, Philly's newest and hottest station.
You're listening to islandvibes.net. All your hits banging right here. Philly #1 Caribbean station. Best in dance-off.
Undisputed champion. Heavyweight, world great. At the Met Gaza celebrate.
Call the Uber. Call the Uber now. I am coming to ya.